Good afternoon, friends. Welcome to Konexio Technical Insights. I'm Rahul Randeria, and I would be conducting today's show. Today, we would be discussing regarding the trends, the setups, patterns, the indicators on the indices. I mean to say Nifty, Bank Nifty, and the different asset classes. Let us discuss what we have mentioned in the last week. Last week, we have mentioned that due to the election result and looking at the rising cases of the Corona COVID-19. Nifty might see a highly volatile trading sessions. Nifty might see a broad range in the Nifty for the last week. So initially, after the results, Nifty opened with a gap down, and then slowly and gradually it started recovering. But this recovery process was highly volatile throughout the week. But unfortunately, what we have seen that Nifty ended with a positive note. On the weekly charts, Nifty has given shown some sort of strength. But looking at the daily charts, which we have been discussing in the last couple of months, that Nifty has been moving into a falling channel on the daily charts, where whenever it tried to test its upper resistance line, there has been multiple times we have seen a Nifty facing strong selling pressure, and from there those levels, Nifty had been hammered down sharply from those levels for the coming days. So definitely, let us look at the daily charts of the Nifty, and then we will see how Nifty will pan out in the next week. So again, for this time, Nifty, as I said, that it has been slowly and gradually moving towards its upward resistance line. On the daily charts, on Friday, Nifty has formed a high wave candle, or what we talk about an indecisive candle, just near its upper resistance line. So definitely, again, we will see that from these levels, we might see selling pressure coming in. The another reason would be, again, the next week is a truncated week because of trading holiday, because of Eid. Again, another issue is rising COVID cases across the country, and slowly and gradually many states are going into strict lockdown. So this might hamper the Nifty rally. So I feel that looking at this pattern, or looking at the Nifty movement, I feel that upside is again capped in the Nifty, and we might see selling pressure being coming at the higher levels. So definitely from these levels, one need to be cautious. Anybody, those who have bought Nifty at the lower levels, should try to book profits at the on the follow-up buying, which has been seen that whenever, as I discussed, that you will see on the screen that whenever Nifty faces or try to challenge that upper resistance line, it has failed to see follow-up buying. You can see 4 times, first, second, third, fourth time, Nifty has faced challenges at this resistance line, and those times Nifty has seen selling pressure. So again, I am expecting similar pattern to happen for the next week, as the next week is a truncated week, and rising COVID cases across the country, and many states going into a strict lockdown. So this might hamper the rally, and again Nifty might see a selling pressure. So definitely, the word of a caution to be maintained for the next week. So let us discuss the important support and resistance for the next week in the Nifty. So important support in the Nifty are placed at 14,724. Below that, next support is at 14,506. Then third support is placed at 14,341. Whereas on the upside, first resistance is placed at 14,979. Second resistance is placed at 15,044. Above that, the major resistance is at 15,174. So most probably, Nifty might trade in the range of 15,150, 15,175 on the upside, and on the downside, 14,340 to 14,300. So most probably, one need to be cautious because of truncated week and rising COVID cases, and one need to be booking profits at the higher levels. Similarly, in the Bank Nifty also, what we have seen that Bank Nifty has been also moving into a falling channel. You will see on the screen. And again, in Bank Nifty, what we have seen that it has witnessed a breakout above the falling channel. But the most important thing of the breakout is that there has been a lack of follow-up buying in the Bank Nifty. You can clearly see that the prices are just above those levels, but last 3 days it has failed to witness a follow-up buying. This clearly indicates that there is some sort of cautiousness or undecisiveness, what we clear, or unclarity for a further rally from these levels. So maybe any pullback or any gap up opening on Monday should be used to book profit at the higher levels in the Bank Nifty also, and or otherwise one can go short at the higher levels. So again, the view in the Nifty and Bank Nifty is same. Sell on rise strategy for the next week because of the truncated week and again the rising COVID cases. So let us discuss the important support and resistance in the Bank Nifty. The important support in the Bank Nifty are placed at 32,564. Second support is at 31,906. Third support is at 31,722. Whereas the resistance are placed at 32,663. Second resistance is placed at 33,714. And the final resistance for the week is placed at 34,287. So most probably the range in the Bank Nifty for the next week would be around 31,700 on the downside and 34,200 or 32,000 or 34,300 on the upside. Be cautious at the higher levels. Try to book profits in the Bank Nifty and Nifty, or one can go short at the higher levels. Now let us discuss the third segment of the session, is the option analysis, where we would be discussing, the concentration or the build-up of the open interest into the calls and puts in the Nifty and Bank Nifty. So first of all, let us discuss in Nifty. In Nifty, what we have identified that strong open interest build-up was seen in the out of the money calls of 14,900. You can clearly see on the screen. Then for 15,000, the 15,100. So you can clearly see the rise in the open interest. But again, the percentage changes is not that much encouraging. So which has indicated that there might be some skepticism or indecision or some doubts about Nifty rallying significantly from those levels, because there has been no strong change into the percentage terms compared to the previous week. So I would be a little cautious. Yes, definitely there has been a build up in the out of the money calls. So I feel that 15,000 would act as a major resistance because it is a psychological mark. So one needs to clearly watch this particular strike price and trade accordingly in the direction of the trend. In Nifty puts, I mean to say Nifty out of the money puts, the strong open interest build up was seen in 14,700 puts, then 14,600 puts, and 14,500 puts. So definitely you can see on the screen there has been rise in open interest. But again, what I would like to say that on the downside is there has been a writing seen into this particular out of the money puts. So I feel that on the downside, because of the truncated week, 14,500 or 14,400 could act as a strong support for the Nifty for the next week. So definitely next week would be a sell on rise or book profit at the higher levels. But again, on the downside, might be restricted towards the level of 14,400. So one had to be cautious at the higher levels in Nifty. Now let us discuss the options or rise in the open interest in the Bank Nifty calls. In Bank Nifty out of the money calls, the rise in the open interest was seen in the out of the money strike price is where 33,500 calls, 34,000 calls, and 34,500 calls. So again, you can clearly see in the percentage changes there has been a strong writing seen in this particular out of the money calls. So again, which clearly indicates that the upside might be kept. The first resistance would be maybe 34,000, which is the psychological market that could act as a major resistance. Definitely, selling pressure might coming at the higher levels. Now, Bank Nifty puts, the rise in the open interest when seen in the out of the money puts where 32,500 puts and 32,000 puts and 31,500 puts. Again, clearly looking at the open interest and percentage changes, it clearly indicates that again the downside is kept near 31,500 because there has been a strong writing seen in the out of the money puts. So Bank Nifty might take a strong support near 31,500. So again, one need to be cautious at the higher levels and trade accordingly in the direction of the markets, at least on the Monday, then trade accordingly, but with a cautious note and with a nimble footing. Try to book profits at the higher levels. Now let us come to the final segment of the show, which is positional call. I have identified one stock from the mid-cap banking sector, which is Bandhan Bank. The stock has been beaten down significantly, or the stock has been knocked down from the levels of above 350. Last week, the stock has taken a multiple support. You can clearly see it has been forming a triangular pattern. The stock has taken a triple support. I mean, it is not a triple bottom, but 3 times it has taken support in that particular support trend line. So again, the setup is into oversold territory. You can clearly see on the RSI also, when prices are making lower lows, RSI is showing a positive divergence. So when the stock has been beaten down significantly and RSI is showing a positive divergence, so it is a potential chances that Bandhan Bank might witness a sharp short covering from these levels. So positional traders or swing traders can accumulate the stock. The current market price of the stock is around 297. One can accumulate in the range of 297 to 290 for an upside positional target of 350 or 340 or 350, and one could place a strict stop loss just below 270. Because the structure of the market is little cautious, so I would like to mention that traders and swing traders or position traders should place a strict stop loss below 270. So with a stop loss of 270, one can accumulate Bandhan Bank in the range of 297 to 290 for a target of 340 to 350 for short to medium term. So the stock is looking good. So one high risk traders can take a bet on this stock for short to medium term. So thank you very much for watching the show. Any suggestion you can give into the comment box. Any live update in calls in Nifty, Bank Nifty and individual stock, one can connect me at my Twitter handle, which is @Rahul Randeria. Thank you very much for watching the show and have a nice trading day.